Namaste, my dear masters, my dear friends, and my dear gods. Today, in 21 ITP, batch 9, we are going to look into the law of balance and polarity. Past many days, we have been looking into all the spiritual laws one by one. Today, it is a great opportunity for us to learn or relearn what we already know. Duality is a beautiful word which teaches us the positive and negative both exist in parallel. Everything has an opposite. Every element, every subject, every reality always have a duality. Two sides of the coin. If there is light, there is darkness. If there is a joy, there is also sorrow. If there is love, there is also fear. That is how the universal law of balance and polarity works. It exists. Whether we know or we don't know, whether we care or we don't care, the law says that duality exists. One cannot exist without another. They both always exist. Whatever you take, the opposite also exists. That is how they find the balance. And it is the duty of us to find the balance between these two forces and to live life. Anything we do, we must look into every subject with duality. Suppose we have been discussing about law of manifestation for so many days. There can be a success, there can also be a failure. That is duality. It can happen quickly or it can happen delayed. That is also duality. It can happen fully or it can happen partially. That is also duality. So when one force exists, another exists because they coexist. One cannot exist without another. Why? How? Because that is the law. That is how the universe balances itself. We have to constantly look into the dark side of us. Nobody is 100% pure light in all dimensions. We have to constantly keep looking at ourselves in given every situation, because until the situation comes, we will never know our dark side. There is nothing wrong. But being aware about our dark side, we can bring light into it. We need not worry about it. We need not feel bad, but we have to be aware about it. That is called an opportunity to improvise. We have to bring light into the areas where the darkness is surrounding us. The law teaches that when we experience hardship, there is equal potential for joy. The joy will follow. The hardship will not be there forever. How the joy will come? Because the law of balance and polarity tells us if one exists, another has to exist. We know we are not just these bodies. We are physical, we are mental, we are emotional, we are spiritual. We have to find balance between all these elements, all the polarities. If there is an imbalance, then there is illness. Today, more than 5 or 6 masters came to my office. I took their energy readings. I was looking into the energy bodies and their chakras and all the polarities. Interestingly, for 2 people, the dominance is more on the right side. It's a yin yang. So I told them, start doing few works on the other side. The right dominance is more. So one fellow told me exactly 1 week ago, he started writing few things in the left hand, brushing the teeth in the left hand. So a lot of opposite polarities, he already started working. So we always tend to be on one side physically. We have to start something on the left, the opposite polarity. People who are logical minded always stay on the left brain. They have to move towards creativity. People who are always creative, they are little moody. They have to have some discipline, bring their logic into the life. Then you balance the polarity. It's always both sides will look and be balanced. You have to find balance. Physically, mentally, and even spiritually. Some people attend some program, the whole night they don't sleep. And they come and ask me, should I sleep or should I not sleep? Again, it is your choice. But you have to find the balance. Don't take it to extremes. Extremes is either positive or negative. Finding the balance is very important. And also the balance between physical, mental, and spirituality. Otherwise, it leads to illness. When I do the measurements, I see some chakras are on the left, some chakras are on the right. It has to be in the balance. When it is balanced, there is a holistic health, a well-being. Especially when it comes to emotions, you have to have balance. Getting into an emotion, if it is not in your hand, coming back to balance is always in our hand. How quickly we come back, that shows your mastery. Whatever the polarity, whatever the extreme, I can quickly come back within a fraction of a second. There is no good and bad. That's what polarity says. There is only extremes. Because for everything, there is two polarities. That is true. That is law. And where we focus, that grows. If we focus on the negative polarity, the negativity grows. If you focus on the positive side, the positivity grows. We must balance. Accept both. Sometimes life will be smooth. Sometimes life will be hard. When you look at every situation as an opportunity, then there is no problem at all. Every experience will add something to the soul growth, spiritual growth. Who are we to say no to certain experience? If life is giving you a certain situation and experience, go through it, because the life design is soul design. Working always is not good. You must know when to rest, how much to rest. Past 4 days, I am working restless. I did not give much rest to the body. Today I realized I am moving towards one side of the polarity. I must rest. Another greatest block I had from the childhood is I am very good in giving. Money, health, whatever is giving. But when it comes to receive, I always resisted in the past. Most of us, in general, if you carefully observe, we are good in giving. But when we receive something, we feel shy. We are not so comfortable. In that case, what happens is there is a imbalance in the polarity. This is very nicely explained by Guru Patriji in Life Zest concept. Unconditional giving and unconditional receiving. The more you do on one side, why do you resist on other? You're happy to give. When it comes, you have to happily receive. Then there is a balance. Then there is wellness. When you work hard, you must also learn to rest the body. When you are giving more, you must also learn how to receive. And when you are always speaking, you must also learn to listen. That is a great polarity. You will find very, very, very few people who has a good balance in speaking as well as listening. Either they are numb, they don't talk at all, or they won't allow anybody to talk. We have to find balance between both. If this is there, that has to be there. Again, polarity, we always think positive, negative. Work and rest, giving and receiving, speaking and listening. These are the different polarities. When there are adversity, difficulties in life, we find the strength and resilience in ourselves. So when we have difficult situations in life, we must not run away. We must not complain. Go through it. Then your real inner strength comes out. If something comes as a challenge, don't allow your ego to grow, but take it as an opportunity. If some banner says 21 days challenge, this, that, then we immediately jump. But if you look at it as an opportunity, okay, this 21 days I got an opportunity to read book, to meditate, to listen, then there is no much pressure. You do it for the growth and transformation. Otherwise, you jump into a challenge, there'll be a huge crowd initially. After a few days, slowly it will decline. In everything, it's a dance. In between my speech, I give pauses. That is polarity. How much pause should I give? That is balance. Speech is good. Silence is good. Speech between silence. Silence between speech. This is what makes life interesting. I do music meditation in the night, silence meditation in the afternoon. You must know the polarities and you must play with it. In your daily lives, if you can bring the balance and polarity, you can live an harmonious life. I've worked with many people and many volunteers. Certain people will squeeze the blood energy out of you. With some certain people, you will never feel like working. Both are extremes. Sometimes we must leave and sometimes we should catch. We should not be always strict and we must not be always lenient. You must find the balance. I generally don't force my kid for anything. But if he crosses and go to any extreme of polarity, then my one word or one look, he will come back to balance. But if I keep doing that every day, then there is no value for it. You must know when to press what. Let me tell you a beautiful story. There was one Chinese master called Lavozi. He lived in a mountain area. He had one wild horse. One night, the horse ran into forest. Everybody in the village gathered and told him, very unfortunate. But Lavozi replied, we will see. He did not say anything. He simply said, we will see. After 2 days, the wild horse which ran away came back with 4 new wild horses. Again, the whole village, they gathered. They said, very fortunate. Lavozi said, we will see. And the next day, when Lavozi's son was trying to control one of the wild horses, he fell down, he broke his leg. Again, the whole village gathered. They said, very unfortunate. But Lavozi said, we will see. The next day, there was a war declared by the kingdom, and the king ordered to bring all the youngsters into the war. But when the soldiers came to pick, they saw Lavozi's son's leg was broken, so they left him. Again, the whole village gathered and said, how fortunate. All my sons are gone. Your son is fortunate. Because of the leg is broken, he didn't join the war. But again, Lavozi said, let's see. Such a very wise story. Because he knows in life there are polarities. Sometimes you think fortune becomes unfortune. Sometimes you think there is unfortune, it becomes fortune. Things will go up, it has to come down. When things go down, it has to go up. Name, fame, money, power, everything goes up, comes down, go up. Nothing remains constant. That is life. When we understand this, we don't go into depression when things go down. We don't go into excitement when things go up. But when we understand both the polarities, you will understand how to live in balance. This is all about law of polarity and balance. Thank you, my dear friends.